A warm welcome to all of you for the virtual session of Science Children. I hope you all are maintaining your notebook. Please draw the diagram mentioned in the video session for you all. It is extremely important for this chapter. So whichever diagram I had mentioned for to be drawn in the notebook, please do draw very neatly in your notebook, children. I hope you all are doing that. So where necessary diagram, wherever being specified in the video session, please draw those diagrams in your notebook. Hopefully you all are doing that. So let us see, in this session we will continue with the chapter Getting to Know Plants, part 4. What are we going to have in this session? We are going to learn about stem. We had finished about leaf. We have seen the structure of the leaf. We have seen various parts of the leaf. We have seen two very important processes which takes place in the leaf, that is transpiration and photosynthesis. In the previous session we had finished all that. So let us see one more part of the plant, that is stem. So growth cycle of common stem, you can just have a look. How a stem will grow and how it will show the difference in the growth with the days, and as the days goes, how the stem will grow and the plants will grow in size. The stem will actually grow in size. They will branch out as the plants will grow, because they make food and food help them to grow and survive. So let us see. Just have a look at the banana tree over here, the branches and the stems, how they grow, and finally it becomes an adult plant of adult tree because of the growing of the stem. Just have a look. So this is how from a plant to a tree, the growth of the stem. Actually you can see there is a marked difference at various stages, and as the days goes, with all the necessary requirement of the plant, it will grow into a banana tree, and this growth of the stem will happen. And it will branch out. Stem will grow indiscriminately. It will not have a uniform growth. The stem have a non-uniform growth. It will be longer branch of the stem, or it will be a shorter branch. So it is not a uniform growth of the stem. Now let us see about stem. The stem is the part of the plant which is responsible for supplying water to all the parts of the plant. So very important function of the stem is for supplying water to all the parts of the plant, and each and every part of the plant, each and every cells of the plant require water for the survival, as we require water for the survival. Similarly, each and every part of the plant require water for survival, and this role is played by the stem, because stem, as you've seen, is a different branch of the plant. It grows in various sizes, and it is the medium of transport of water to various parts, to the flowers, to the fruits, to the leaves. So it is the stem which bears branches, flowers, leaves, fruits and buds. The root sucks the water and the minerals from the soil, and it is the stem's functions to push this water upward to other parts of the plants. That's why we need to learn about the stem, and stem is also a very important part of the plant. We can observe this by soaking the stem of a plant in a glass with water. How are we going to prove that the stem is responsible for the transportation of water? You can just do this simple experiment. We can observe this by soaking the stem of a plant in a glass with water, on adding colored ink to the water. Why we are adding colored ink? So that we can see the movement of the water, and the colored water will move in the stem, and you will actually get the evidence. The stem will show that color, because it will get stained with that color. So that will prove that water is being transported with the help of the stem, because the stem will get that particular color. So we observe that after a while the stem and the leaves of the plant start to turn the color of the ink, which is proof that the stem carries the water to the different parts of the plant. I hope this simple experiment is clear. Here, this will be more, give you a clearer idea. You will see this diagram. You can see the colorful water here, colorful water and the stem, and after a few days you will see the leaves and the stem will acquire that color. That means the water being transported, and the leaves and the stem of these plants will get that color because water being transported by the stem. This is the evidence that stem transport water to all the parts of the plant. This is a very simple experiment. Here also you can see the experiment helps demonstrate how stems are responsible for carrying water to different plant parts. Just see the diagrammatic representation here on the left side of the image, and on the right side of the image you will see how different colored water is used, and then the plant and that stem and the leaves of that particular colored ink is added, that will get stained. That same color stain you will get on the leaves and the stem. That means water being transported and the color being stained to the plant. Those specific color you will get. So this is the evidence, and it will demonstrate with the help of this simple experiment. I hope this is clear. Please do not draw any diagram here, children. Just have a look. Now one very important part of the plant which we need to do, we finished with leaf, we have done with the stem, we have seen the very important role of the stem. Now we will see one more very important part of the plant, that is root. And you all know the function of the root. Let us see what is root. The root is a very important component of the plant system, as without the presence of the roots, the plant ceases to exist. If the root, somehow if you uproot a plant and if you are not planting it anywhere, then after some days the plant will die, because the roots will stop performing its function, because it requires soil. So in the absence of the root, the survival of the plant ceases to exist. That means it will end to exist, it will stop to exist. This is because the roots perform three major functions. Those are very essential to the growth and the survival of the plant, which are, let us see. Roots are responsible for absorbing minerals and water from the soil and the transferring them to the stem. As you all know, roots take up water and minerals from the soil, and that they transfer it to the stem. So from where do plants get water and minerals? It is because from the roots it gets transported. So that is a very important role, and it's only after root has transported water and mineral to stem that the stem becomes capable of transporting this to all the parts of the plant. So it is because of the roots which help in the transportation of water and mineral to the stem, then stem will do its function. If roots will not do its function, by some reason we uproot the plants, then the roots get detached from that soil, and it will not be able to take up water and minerals. So that's why it won't be able to give it to the stem. So our stem will give it to all the parts of the plant, and gradually the plant will die. So that's why roots are extremely important, children. This is how roots plays a very important role by absorbing water and minerals from the soil. I hope it's clear. This is a very important part of the plant. Another important function of the root is to firmly anchor the plant in the ground. So a plant stay on the ground, it will survive, and it will stay on that particular part of the ground just because it is being grounded with the help of the roots. This is also essential to support. This is essential to support the upright position of the plants. So roots also help in giving the support to the plant and keeping it upright. And roots also perform the function of storing important nutrients and food for growth. So another important function is to store food for growth and store nutrients also. So these are all important functions performed by the roots. So now it is very clear to you all how important roots are for the plants. And there are two major types of roots that exist in plants, and these are tap roots and fibrous roots. So two important category of the roots which we see in plants. When we uproot them and we see what types of roots they have, majorly they are categorized as tap roots and fibrous roots Let us see what are taproots and fibrous roots. Please take this down. Taproots and fibrous root, let us see, have a comparative study. So please make this table in your notebook, children. Taproots and fibrous roots. What is the structure and what are the function over there? Taproots, please do make a table like this and put comparative points so that you can prepare with the points of difference between taproots and fibrous roots. Taproots, in this type of root system, there is one prominent and long root and a bunch of smaller roots that grow from the main root called lateral roots. So it has a main one big thick root and we have small roots coming out of it. Whereas in fibrous root, in the root system, you have a group of similar size roots emerge from the base of the plant. So here you have all similar size roots, they emerge from the base of the plant and they do not have a main root. As taproot has a main root, that is a prominent thick root. Whereas fibrous root, all the roots are of more or less same size. Second point over here for taproot, it is hard to pull out plants with taproot as these go deep within the soil. So taproots go deep within the soil because it has one thick main root which goes inside the soil, deep inside the soil. So uprooting this type of plants which have taproots, it's a bit difficult because it goes deep in the soil. Whereas fibrous roots, these plants relatively easier to pull out as the roots do not go very deep in the soil, as they do not have one thick root, or more or less the root size are same. Third point for taproots and fibrous roots, taproot, this root system is seen to exist in plants with leaves displaying reticulate venation. Please make a please highlight this point, is extremely important. Just put a star there or put a mark so that you will learn this point, extremely important. How you can find out plant have a reticulate venation, or how with the help of reticulate venation, if you see, you can easily identify without looking at the root, you can say that this plant will have a taproot. So you see the leaf, if it has reticulate venation, then it is a taproot, and if it has a parallel venation, then it is a fibrous roots. So the taproot, this root system is seen to exist in plants with leaf displaying reticulate venation. Whereas in fibrous roots, this root system is seen to exist in plants with leaf displaying parallel venation. So by just having a look at the leaves, you can make out whether the leaves will have a reticulate venation or whether it will have a parallel venation by looking at the root, or by looking at the reticulate venation, you can see you can make out the plant will have a taproot, and by looking at the parallel venation of the leaf, you can make out it is a fibrous roots. Without actually uprooting the plant, you can just make out with the help of the leaves. Just have a look at the leaves and you can find out. Don't need to actually uproot the plant and check whether it's a taproot or a fibrous root. Now here you have examples of plants which shows taproots: carrots, turnip, gram, then you have China rose. Examples of plants with fibrous roots: banana, wheat, maize, onion, bamboo. So all the example which you have listed for parallel venation, the leaf showing parallel venation will show fibrous roots, and the leaves which shows reticulate venation will show taproots. So all the examples which you have done for reticulate venation, you can also say they have taproots. And examples which you have learned for parallel venation, you can also say that they have fibrous roots. So you can easily make out, and this kind of question can appear by looking at this. If you some example are listed for parallel and reticulate venation, you have to find what type of roots they show. So you can easily will be able to answer, children. You should be able to answer. I hope it's clear with you all, children. Please do make this table, children. You can just see taproot versus fibrous roots. Just have a look. Just now we had talked about taproot and fibrous root. Here you can see the taproot has one thick main root and all fine roots attached to it. Those fine roots are called lateral roots. So taproot will have one main prominent thick root and all fine lateral roots. The primary root grows longer and thicker than the secondary roots, those are smaller. Whereas in fibrous roots, the secondary roots continue to grow and eventually all the roots are of equal or nearly equal size. You can see on the right hand side, that is fibrous roots. All are more or less of the same type and same size, and those are called as fibrous. I hope the concept of taproot and fibrous roots very clear with you all. Just have a look. So here we come to end of the session, children. I hope the session was interesting. Please draw the table showing the comparative study of the taproot and the fibrous roots. And very much hopeful you all are maintaining your notebook, children. Thank you and have a wonderful day.